It is May 13th, 2017, and welcome to News Effect. This is a Flicker Effect podcast where each week we discuss the top 5 news items of the week from the world of film, television, and pop culture. I'm David Lotz. Joining me as always are Bobby Jackson and Yasha Wilson. How's it going, guys?
Hey.
Good.
Welcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's that?
No Michelle, but
No
we got
Michelle.
the three of us. We're holding it down.
Shout out to Michelle. Big shout out.
Miss you, Michelle. I think she's enjoying Savannah, Georgia, I think, this weekend. Savannah. But yeah, she should be back next weekend. With that, let's jump right into the news. And with that, I turn things over to you, Bobby.
Thank you, David. So number 5 this week, talk a little bit about some trailers. So this week we got our first look at the trailer for The Mist, which will premiere on June 22nd on Spike TV. And we also got a second look at Blade Runner 2049, starring Ryan Gosling, Harrison Ford, and directed by Denis Villeneuve. David, what did you think of the trailers for The Mist and Blade Runner 2049?
The Mist, kind of indifferent on. I don't know. I will say, when I had heard about a show for The Mist, I was very like, I just don't care. And then I watched the trailer, and I'm like, all right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to lie, I'll be kind of surprised if I do take the time to watch the show. But it is at least intriguing. More intriguing than I expected. On the flip side, Blade Runner looked amazing to me. That's Blade Runner 2049. It's been a long time since I've seen Blade Runner, and we've talked about that here and there on the show. And I know you only more recently saw it for the first time, Bobby. But I am a fan of the movie. I can get that a lot of people, if they had never seen it before and they just now watched it, probably wouldn't be all that impressed with it. But I'm a fan, and this looks really good. I don't know what else to say about it. If there was anything about it that I would be skeptical on, it's Ryan Gosling in that role. But I think he'll be fine. I just could imagine there would be other actors that would be a better fit. But other than that, it's definitely got the atmosphere and just the look and everything that is so Blade Runner, and it looks so good. Jared Leto looks really, really good in the little bit we see of him in this trailer. The music just sounds Blade Runner. I mean, I don't know if that's going to be music that we'll actually hear in the film or not, but I definitely dug it big time.
What'd you think, Yasha?
I mean, I might as well just piggyback on what David said as well. I'm interested in Mist. I enjoyed the movie just as much as the next Stephen King fan or horror film fan. I'm not so sure that I'm going to sign on for a weekly episode of The Mist. I just don't see that being a super big interest of mine. I might give 1 or 2 episodes a shot depending on when they release it. Blade Runner looks fantastic. Jared Leto looks fantastic. It looks like they're really expanding that world and that story appropriately. So I'm really looking forward to that movie, and I'm hoping for just as much fun in the dialogue, the storyline, some amazing quotes. I'm looking forward to it. What can I say? I mean, I remember watching Blade Runner when I was a kid, thoroughly enjoying it, kind of being blown away, like, wow, that was really cool. So I'm interested. I'm on board. I can't wait to see it.
I think when I saw that Mist trailer, I was surprised actually by it, because I knew that there was going to be a TV series coming out, and I really enjoyed the movie. And so hearing about the series, I was interested in where they could take it as a series and draw out that aspect of what the Mist is. And from what I could see, the visuals of it were a lot better than I don't know, in my head, I guess I didn't have a specific image of what I was expecting, but not what I got. And so I'm very intrigued by it, and I do feel like actually I will be able to watch this and wanted to see it as a weekly series, much in the same way I think as The Walking Dead, and you would have a core bunch of characters that you follow, and they're how they sort of traverse through this mist and what comes out of it. So I probably will be signing on board for watching that, and especially since it comes out, I believe it's said June 22nd. It sounds like a summer move or summer series, so that's perfect. It gives me something else to sort of maybe will fill the spot of some of the other shows that I tend to watch that aren't coming back this summer or whatever else. So I think it'll be able to plug right in. But as far as Blade Runner 2049, I, as you guys have said, have been really blown away by this trailer, more so than the first one, the teaser that we got. This really looks like it retains a lot of the Ridley Scott sensibilities of the original film and really kind of propels it into a different future in terms of visually looking up to date while still having that specific and distinct look that the original film had. And the comparison to this one and the original for me is this story looks a little bit more compelling to me, knowing what that world is like now than what I got from the original. So I'm absolutely looking forward to it a lot more than I was previously, and really looking to, I guess, get into the story and the aspects of this world and what's happened in the time that's lapsed. So I'm way more on board than I was originally for this series, for this movie. So kudos to them to putting together a really good trailer and getting people talking about it, because I think now it's really on the map and people are going to be looking forward to it. And I didn't write when it comes out, but I think it was coming out in, I want to say, October of this year. Number 4. Looks like Ron Perlman and Guillermo. I never can say his first name right. Guillermo. There we go. Guillermo del Toro are out, and Neil Marshall and David Harbour are in for the new Hellboy film. The creator of the character, Mike Mignola, announced that a new R-rated Hellboy is in development, and negotiations are happening with Marshall and Harbour, while Millennium Films is in talks to produce. Yasha, do you think Harbour and Marshall have what it takes to fill the shoes of Perlman and Del Toro?
I don't know, man. Like, I like Del Toro and it just left me. The original actor. Yeah, Perlman. Thank you. I liked him a lot as Hellboy. He fit that character so well. That's not saying that I don't think that Harbour's a good actor. That was his name, Harbour.
David
Harbour. Harbour. Okay, I like him too, but I don't know, man. Like, I mean, the first one I thought was really kind of cool. Like, it was fun. So it sounds like they're going to try and make it a little bit darker, and it definitely, the rated R, so the language will be a little bit harsh. I can see how that can be fun also. So I don't know if they're going to do better, but it sounds like it might be fun.
Yeah, I see. That's the thing with me. I think when I saw the original Hellboy, I'd always known about it from the comics, and the comics have always been thoroughly enjoyed by a lot of people. I've just never been able to really get into the character. And even in the movie, I thought it was fine, but I didn't go crazy over it. And I never even saw the second film. So for me, I guess as connected to the character as Ron Perlman is and being Hellboy, I think I would be able to accept a new version with David Harbour. I mean, just fresh off of his stint on Stranger Things is the most thing that's most recent in my mind. So seeing him as Hellboy, I guess it'll be a little jarring at first, but I think with them, and for those who don't know, Neil Marshall, if you don't know what his name is, but you might recognize one of the things that he directed, which was The Descent. And that was a really creepy horror film that I always tell people if they haven't seen it, they should see it. And he says that he wants to bring a more horror element to it, which is also probably which lends into the R rating. And I think I'd be on board for seeing a slightly different take than Del Toro's. And I wish they could have maybe made another one, but since I didn't have necessarily the hardcore connection to it, the series with those two involved, I guess I'm okay and on board to seeing what they do with this new reboot, and especially with Mike Mignola being involved in the writing and in the process of it. Then his voice of the character he created will have more influence. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. David, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of I think in agreement with you, Bobby. Like I never read the comic, so I don't have any connection to the character through that. It's purely those Guillermo del Toro movies. And I thought they were fine, but I wasn't really that connected to those. Like I don't really have a lot of love for them, I guess you could say. Like they're fine, but they didn't really do anything for me. So knowing who the character is and knowing the story, and I do find it interesting, I'm very curious to see a different take on it. And yeah, you know, Ron Perlman, he was fine as Hellboy, but I don't know. I think David Harbour could be pretty good. And again, I'm saying that as someone who, you know, I've never picked up a Hellboy comic in my life, so I don't know what big fans of the comic think. But I'm very, very curious, especially in our rating. I think could be quite good with this kind of character.
Did you ever see The Descent?
No, I never did.
Ah, that's such a good one. What about you, Josh? Have you seen it?
I have, and that is a creepy ass fucking movie.
Yes, it is.
I've only seen it once, so my memory is a little vague on it, but I do remember watching it and going, holy shit. Like, I didn't think it was going to be as scary as it was, but when I did watch it, I was like, holy shit, that movie is creepy as hell. Like, it was messed up.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. So if you haven't had a chance to watch it, check it out.
Yeah, I gotta check it out.
Yeah, that's a damn good, like, watching the trailer doesn't do it justice. And then when you finally watch it, you're just like, wow, that was really messed up. Like, it was just a really messed up movie.
All right, well, we'll say no more, but definitely check that out. And it sounds like we're all kind of at least willing to give this new Hellboy a try based on what they do with it. So let's move on to our number 3 this week. What's that, Yasha? Did you have something else?
Like you guys, I've never read the comics, so it's like I'm just attached to. I just know the characters based off of the movies. So, but yeah, I'm with you when it comes to watching it. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Bobby. Go ahead.
Oh no problem. So this week's number 3, it looks like Judge Dredd is coming to TV. I Am Global has announced a live-action Judge Dredd TV series called Judge Dredd Mega City 1. The series will be an ensemble drama that follows a team of judges, futuristic cops, invested with the power to be a judge, jury, and executioner, as they encounter the myriad challenges of a world in which East Coast cities have merged into a giant megalopolis. Despite its 22nd century setting, many of the issues they encounter will have echoes of these today, from the dangers of domestic terrorism to the tensions between the ultra-rich and the disenfranchised. David, are you willing to watch a Judge Dredd TV series, or do you think it should have stayed just a film?
I would be very willing to watch a TV series. I think it lends itself to a TV series, you know? Like, as, you know, even like a procedural kind of thing. With that said, I was shocked how much I enjoyed Dredd, the one starring Carl Urban. And I'd love to see another one of those. I don't see that happening. I think a lot of people have been wanting that and have been hoping for something that's never going to come. But, you know, I'm skeptical of a TV show. You know, I feel like when it comes to TV shows, and maybe this is a common theme with me, but production quality for something like this makes me skeptical. Like, what kind of network are we going to end up on, and what kind of quality of a show are we going to get? But I would be very curious to see a show about Judge Dredd.
Very cool. So what about you, Yasha?
Nope, don't care. And I just, because of all the reasons that David just said, I really enjoyed the Carl Urban one. I thought that was a fantastic movie. I don't know what kind of quality we're going to get with a television show. I don't know. I can't see myself really tuning in once a week or, streaming it to be attached to this character. I don't care. I just don't have any real desire to do it. So I'm I'm not interested. But the Carl Urban one, like I signed the petition. I was very active in doing
Nice.
whatever I could to try and see another movie made with Carl Urban because that movie was fantastic. And like you said, David, we're hoping for something that's just never going to happen. And that's exactly where I was at. Is like I was hoping for something that just never was going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'm somewhere in the middle between you guys. On one hand, I really feel like it deserves to be on film because of many of the reasons you both have described in terms of the quality of what we'll get, because that world can be pretty big. But then at the same time, when you look at it, it's like really the story itself is what was really good about it, and the way that it was framed and done. It wasn't necessarily a big tech heavy thing to it that made it interesting or good. So I feel like it will really kind of come down to a couple things for me, I guess, is the tone of it and who they get and cast as the Judge Dredd character. I mean, a big part of me wishes that Carl Urban would just do the TV series version of it, and they keep that tone of the movie and go down that road. And I would be happily on board with that. But then another part of me is like, well, I'm sure he's pretty busy and doing films and stuff, so they probably won't be able to get him for a series. And so, who will be the person coming in, and will that will I bring in the baggage of wanting to see Carl Urban into that and not really give the new person a fair shake? And well, how will they handle the character? Will he sometimes have his mask off or sometimes have it on, as opposed to how Carl Urban did and had it off or had it on the whole time without ever revealing his face? And I just don't know in terms of what we're going to get with it yet. So I'm sort of right there in the middle. Interested, but cautiously interested about it, I guess.
Right.
Well, number 2 this week, and this one kind of came out of left field because I really didn't see this coming, but it looks like there's an animated series for Deadpool on the way, and it's coming to the FXX channel in 2018, and it's being produced by Donald Glover. So not much is known about the details other than it will be 10 episodes and it will have an adult theme to it. Yasha, are you ready to see an adult version of the animated series featuring the Merc with the mouth?
I saw that as well, that article. I'm pseudo interested. I'll probably give an episode or two a shot just to see how it is, but I'm just kind of wavering on it. I'm just happy that we got him in the movie theater as well as he did. So do we need to see an animated version of that right away? No, I really don't think so. So I'm really torn. I'm more like 40-60 on this in regards to like whether or not I want to watch it and whether or not I don't. So I'm kind of not really on board, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm. What about you, David?
I don't know. I mean, I guess based on my reaction right now, I'm kind of,
Mm-hmm.
I guess I hate to say it just all depends. Like, but how adult is it going to be? I think I'm good with just the films at this point. I don't know if I'm gonna bother watching an animated show unless it definitely goes out of its way to have a very unique style. And that's one thing I do like about a lot of animation that I seem to be attracted to is animation that tries to do something different and looks unique. And if it does that, and then maybe I'll be interested. But I don't know at this point. On the surface, it just sounds kind of like, oh, okay, Deadpool's popular. Let's do what we can with Deadpool, but have it not conflict with the film universe kind of thing. I don't know.
I think where I'm at with it right now is of two minds. One, I know I'm going to watch it because I watch all the animated cartoons that are Marvel or DC otherwise. So I know I'm definitely going to tune in for it. But the other part of my mind thinks this would have been awesome if there had never been a movie. If they were still like languishing and deciding when to bring this Deadpool out, and it was just sort of sitting in development hell, and this came around, I'd be really stoked for it because this would be the introduction to the world for this character. But now that we've had the movie, it's like it's not necessarily necessary, but I still am intrigued by the idea of it because it could go places that they can't even do in the movies. Because in the series, you could have appearances with Spider-Man or other characters within the Marvel universe and see how he interacts with them that you can't necessarily do in the movies right now. So I always enjoyed that aspect in animation that they can go places that you can't in live action. So I think a lot of it will depend on the tone of it and what they really are trying to do with the show is will determine how much of it or how much I'm into it as opposed to am I just watching it just because I tend to watch all these things.
Right.
Well, let's move on to our number one for the week. And it's official. Anya Taylor-Joy and Macy Williams are joining the X-Men universe in Josh Boone's New Mutants film. According to the Hollywood Reporter, production is looking to start this July for an April 13th, 2018 release. Williams is set to play Wolfsbane, who is described as a girl struggling to reconcile her religious beliefs with her power to turn into a wolf, while Taylor has been cast to play Magic, who is described as a girl who has learned sorcery and uses teleportation discs to travel. David, do you think this is a good move on Fox for the casting and creating an all-new team of mutants?
I mean, I guess that's maybe a good way to try to hold on to the X-Men thing and try to do something wholly different. I mean, I'll say I have no interest in it, myself. But I've said before, I've never really been all that kind of connected to the X-Men and the X-Men films. I mean, some of the newer films have been definitely very good, but there's nothing about this that interests me, So, I mean, I don't know if this is going to draw much of an audience though. Like, I mean, if it's their way of like, okay, we're going to try to move away from that core group as we kind of retire them, and maybe we'll do something like this instead for a while. But I don't know that there's going to be a lot of interest.
I think so. I think I'm happy with what they're doing in the sense of this feels more organic to me of them trying to have a new X team because there are the new mutants in the comic books, and so it does definitely make sense from that standpoint of hey, let's build a new franchise of mutants that we can't possibly just fit into our X-Men movies because we only do these X-Men movies once every 2 years or whatever the case may be. And there's so many different X-Men teams out there and so many different X-Men mutants that have either been part of the core X-Men team or offshoots. So, and they're interesting characters in their own rights, and even though they're not the core X-Men people that most people know. So I think it's a definitely a good organic way for them to move about it as opposed to what Sony's doing with their Venom movies and Black Cat spinoffs and all the other stuff. This feels more natural and par for the course. We've had so many different X-Men movies over the past, 10, 15 years. So it's nice to see them going into a different direction and trying to explore some other mutants that haven't had their time to shine in the spotlight. So I don't know in terms of how well people will sort of glom onto it, but maybe if it depends on where this takes place in this X-Men universe and who can they bring into it to sort of be the connective tissue, like a Professor X or Magneto or Colossus or whoever the case may be. Because in the comics, for those who don't know, the character of Magic is the little sister to Colossus. And so there is that connective bond there, and we could see something there. But it to me, I think it's a good move on Fox to try and see if they can still keep on pumping through with the X-Men, because now they don't have Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. So it's like, okay, well, what other franchise can we start other than now that we have Deadpool and then having the regular X-Men universe, which seems like it's starting to diminish. So maybe this will be the thing that sort of gets them to the next level and carries them on for another 10 years. But I think I'm looking forward to it because of the casting. I think those are two very strong actresses, and to see them in the roles that they'll be in, I think will be good. And I'm waiting to see who else they cast. But I guess for my familiarity with the X-Men universe and these characters, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this movie. Yasha, what about you?
I'm with David on this one, man. I honestly don't really care. I hope, and that sucks for me to say because I am a Marvel fan and I do like the universe, but I'm not super interested in seeing these characters develop on screen. I'm not gonna lie, I will probably give it a shot, but maybe it's because I'm not as familiar with them as I probably could be or should be. But I'm just indifferent about it. I don't particularly care. I'm not super hyped about it. I don't really need it in my world. It's just kind of okay, all right. So they're just desperately trying to hold on to this franchise because they don't want to lose it or anything if they have to keep developing stories. And maybe it's kind of cool that they are developing with, some new characters. I hope that it works. I hope it's something that I watch and I'm like, wow, that was so amazing. But I really don't. I'm really not that super hyped about it.
It's fair. I think I would wonder then, is that mean that you don't necessarily feel like you'll be into the new Fox TV series, The Gifted, for their spinoff and towards into TV using the X-Men and the mutant world?
Yeah, honestly, at first time that I heard it, I was kind of like the same thing. I was like, I'll give it a shot. Hopefully it's good. And that's kind of where I was. I saw the trailer for it. It looks kind of interesting, so I'm definitely going to do it. But, I mean, I will definitely give it a shot with an open mind and optimistic outlook because I am a little bit more interested in that one for personal reasons.
Okay. I do believe I know those personal reasons, and we'll share that at some point in time in the future on the show. Well, with that, that's all the news I got for this week, and I'll give it back to you, David.
Whoa. I think we just need to talk about one thing. I don't think that you said something about this, but hey, man, we were just texting back and forth. We don't think that have you ever seen a cancellation reversed in less than a day? I mean, granted, we don't really watch the show, but, at the same time, I think that's pretty newsworthy.
It's newsworthy. I probably would have put it at my number 6, I guess, if there was a top 6 or 7. Yeah, and Yasha is referring to a TV show on NBC called Timeless that just started last season. And I remember seeing promotion for it at Comic-Con. And it's basically about these group of people from the present day who end up going into the past and are chasing these other people that are time traveling and trying to mess up the timeline. And it had got canceled by NBC. I think it was like on Monday or Tuesday of this week. And it just turns out maybe within the last hour or two, NBC has reversed their decision to cancel it and are renewing it for another season over there at NBC, which, as we were talking, I can't recall that ever happening. I've seen shows that have been dead and gone for like a few years and then get resurrected and brought back, but I've never seen a show get canceled and then uncanceled within a week. It doesn't typically happen that way, and I'm curious to see what their reasoning was for canceling it and then deciding, no, you know what, we're gonna take backseas on that one and uncancel it.
Backsies.
Like a secretary or somebody screwed up a memo and didn't mean to cancel it. Oh wait, no, we didn't actually cancel that show. Please don't book any other work.
Yeah, some cancellation. Some communication department manager was just like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna cancel this," and they're like, "Oh shit, wait, what? We're renewing it?
Yeah,
oopsies."
Oops.
Imagine how the actors felt too. They got that notice and they're like, dang, and they probably found out on Twitter that their show got canceled.
Right.
They're bummed out, and they're probably living their lives right now on the weekend and not really paying attention to the news and seeing anything. And then all of a sudden, someone's going to call them up. Hey, your show's back on for next season, right? And the guy has to take the gun out of his mouth because now that he's gotten in that.
Jesus, Bobby!
Wow,
Bobby went dark. A whole new level.
Uh, so now there's all good news all around. We saved some lives and we saved.
Yeah, we saved some lives.
All right.
That is officially the end of the news for this week.
With that, thanks, Bobby, for the news. We're gonna get out of here. Make sure to check out our next regular episode 215. We will be reviewing King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. That'll be a spoiler review, so look out for that. That should be posted very soon. And as always, please check out all of our various social media accounts. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. You can find links to those accounts on our website. Just look over on the right-hand side. I'm David Lott.
I'm Bobby Jackson.
I'm Yasha Wilson.
Thanks for listening.